Hi, everyone. Welcome to our final Ask Angie before the primary election day when history will be made in Florida. And Angie would be our Democratic nominee as the first Black woman U.S. Senator for Florida, but actually a representative that is going to Washington because she will also defeat Ashley Mooding. And I'm not just putting that in the universe. We actually believe that. And so we're super excited to have you here. You've done so much. You've gone across the state. So what I actually want to do before we actually open it up for the questions that we have before we got on the stream is just for you to kind of give a final quick address to the people of Florida, and then we can get into the questions if that works. And your
Yeah, for
light is
sure.
beautiful. You look amazing,
I feel sweaty and I
but
know
you
I
look good.
smell because I've been working. I've been in these streets. And one time for the shoes I got on. The unprofessional shoes. But
They're
we've been
cute.
in these streets. We've been in these streets working. And so I am in South Florida right now, crashing at my cousin's house. But I want to just say thank you to everyone that has been putting it all, leaving it all on the field. We've had a ton of canvases all across the state, a ton of a ton of phone banks, a ton of events. I visited multiple churches today. And I just want to say thank you all for trusting and believing in me and believing that, like, this is not just my campaign, realizing that this is our campaign and it is our time to actually come together and fight back against these people who have just really been making our lives harder. And so I want to say to people that the people in, the politicians in Washington, D.C., the Ashley Moody's and Donald Trumps of the world, they are so out of touch with just everyday people. And they are working less and less and getting richer. Meanwhile, we, the community, are working harder than ever and have little to show for it because they're exploiting us, and they sent us they sent our loved ones to war that is only causing our gas prices to go up even more. They spending $1 billion on a ballroom we didn't even ask for. And so, but it doesn't have to be this way, y'all. Like, it doesn't. And I'm reminding everyone that this is our moment because we're starting the next 250 years of this country. And we need to decide what we want it to look like. And we should not allow these this trillionaire and his billionaire friends and family and these corrupt corporations to decide what the next 250 years is going to look like. We need to decide it. Hey. And so, I'm asking people to lean in and realize that, right now that we being faced with a lot of oppression and attacks. But every time we face the oppression and attacks on communities, marginalized communities, it's been matched with resistance. And so now is the time for us to resist and to lean in. And I'm excited because we gonna make history on Tuesday, and then we're gonna make history on November 3rd because we can and we will win.
Absolutely. Thank you. So one, I was going to end with it, but I'll start with one of the comments that was submitted by someone who actually signed up to attend and get notifications for Ask Angie. And she just wanted you to know there are no questions. She just loved your response to the person that had something to say about your unprofessional shoes. She says, "You effing rock. Your genuine love shines bright. May the light of no distinction reign. Let's go." So I wanted to make sure that I shared it first since she
Let's
so
go.
and so then some of the questions that we have, and for people that are tuning in, please drop your questions. I know some people hesitated and then they started to come fast and we could not get to them all. So we understand if you have voted, we are going, and that is our plan to go into the general election. So if there are questions that you have now, please go ahead and do so. I will share, we're going to have Angie to actually answer some of the questions. before we get off tonight, we want to give you some instructions about what to do to help us bring this home. So I want to make sure that you all tune in and we get to that particular part. So the first question that I have for you is, what will you do about the cost of living? Meaning, which three household expenses will you work to reduce, by how much, if you know, for what households, and how will you measure whether the policy actually lowered the cost rather than simply shifting the cost to taxpayers in another way?
So I'm not shifting any costs to taxpayers. Number one, we need to definitely remove the working family taxes that Donald Trump put on people in the form of tariffs. So that's number one. That's going to help drive down the cost of your Sheen and Fashion Nova carts and your grocery carts and things like that. We also need to make sure that we are voting to extend the ACA subsidies, which actually Moody voted to end, which would actually help drive down our healthcare premium cost, and it would allow nearly 300,000 people to once again be on the rolls for Affordable Care Act. And also, like, we need to push for universal child care. Why do we need to push for universal child care? Because every $1 we put and spend by the government, it puts $3 into the economy because it frees up parents to be able to go back to work. And it also allows our children to have a strong foundation. And I want to say that we have the money to do it. We do, because they're spending $2 billion a day on a war that we didn't ask for. It's only allowing Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, to get richer. It's only allowing defense contractors to get richer, right? And meanwhile, we are hurting more and more and more. They were spending all that money on a ballroom, but I think it got stopped recently. And so we need to push back against that. And also, like, when we push for the Affordable Care Act extension of the ACA subsidies, then we need to push for Medicare for all. Like, this can all be done simultaneously, right? I am a supporter of Medicare for all. The reason I'm a supporter of Medicare for all is because we already paying the cost of it now. Like, we are. And that's with us still paying deductibles and co-pays and all of that right now, because people don't have, a lot of folks don't have primary care providers because they don't have insurance. And so instead they go to the emergency room, and guess who foots those emergency room bills? Taxpayers. And so it would be a lot less if people had primary care providers, right? And so again, like, we are already paying those costs, and that's how we lower those costs. Also, we need to scrutinize the Department of Defense budget with a fine tooth comb. The fact remains that they have always, ever since they started audits, they have failed each and every one of their audits, each and every one of their audits. But it's no surprise when you have a leader of the Department of Defense like Peter Hegseth, who is buying steaks and lobsters and hiring all his friends, and also allowing combat helicopters to go and fly at Kid Rock's home so he can have a cool social media moment. Is disrespectful. It's especially disrespectful to our men and women in uniform who've served and who are serving currently, because there is a lot of active duty military that's on food stamps, and there is a lot of homeless veterans living on the streets. And so clearly our priorities are not in order. And so those are the first few things that I want to work on.
Thank you so much for actually bringing up two issues related to what happens when our veterans when we get at home. We've learned over the weekend that now they are making a big push for people that are immigrants here in the country to enlist in the military.
You know
In order to,
what? You know what? I hear you, Shanae. Let's Donald Trump does not care about our men and women in uniform because he has a lot of them out living miserably on a ship right now with very little food. And he's lying about it. He doesn't care about men and women in uniform. What he cares about is the stock market going up and down so that he can make more money. And so he needs to miss me with all of that stuff. Yeah, he definitely wants immigrants to serve in his military force because he realizes that regular citizens don't want to serve under him because they know they're being sent to a war that is only going to benefit him and his campaign donors. People are fed up. I am so fed up. The amount of people that I have talked to as I crisscross this state, all 67 counties of them, is like folks are freaking upset because they are working harder than they have ever had to work before. And everything is going up. And it feels like they are catching no relief. And meanwhile, you got Ashley Moody's net worth going up. Donald Trump's net worth going up over $4 billion a year, $4 billion since he's been in office. His family and friends net worth is going up hundreds of millions of dollars. And everybody that's watching me on this call, what does your bank account look like right now? What is your savings account? Did you have to go into your 401k or your retirement early? The likelihood of that is a yes. It is like 75, 80%. Someone was telling me that they've been maxing out all of their credit cards because they can't afford anything. And so I am pissed. We are pissed. This ain't even about Republican or Democrat. It's not about moderate or progressive or Democratic socialist or whomever or working families, whatever party or whatever. This is about top versus bottom. And the fact is that these people who are deciding what these politicians do, they are rich. They are billionaires headed to become trillionaires like Elon Musk, and they don't care about us. They want to end Social Security so we can work more hours for them. They want to, they don't want Medicare for all because they want us to work for them and get their crappy health care. It doesn't have to be this way. And I want to be clear because people are calling me a socialist and all this other stuff. I want to be perfectly clear right now. I care about people having access to quality health care and not relying upon corporations that are denying them health care because it affects their bottom line, right? I want to make sure that people have a roof over their head, food on the table, and I don't give a damn about corporations making profits. Like I care about people eating and no longer just surviving but thriving. And so in this next 250 years, we have the opportunity to build something different, y'all. Like this ain't about labels for me. This is about making sure people get what they need. And so, yeah, like label me whatever you want to label me. I'm a fighter for people and I'm going to continue to fight.
I thank you for sharing that. And I do want to name, even when we state that the people's money should take care of the people. And so I think we never have those conversations about how we have roads and fire departments and police departments and schools. And so all of these actual things while we're throwing those things around. And so just naming that for people that are tuning in. But one of the things that you named, which is a question that a person has, can the Social Security funds be protected in perpetuity as a right by amending the Constitution? Will we have the votes for the
Absolutely.
scrap the cap?
We like we can definitely protect Social Security, and we protect it by, yes, scrapping the cap. Did you know that billionaires pay, they are done paying into the Social Security system the first few hours of the year? We need to scrap that cap. They need to pay what they owe, and we need to stop providing them with tax breaks, right? Donald Trump decided to give them a massive tax break with that big bullshit bill that he passed. It was not beautiful, y'all. It was bullshit. Like, let's be real. That's what it was. But he put working family taxes on us in the form of tariffs. That's because he wants us feeling hopeless. He wants us feeling broken down, like we have nowhere to turn. He doesn't want us going out to vote. They just want to stay in power. Like, that's all they want, power. They want money and more power. And it I need y'all to wake up. I need y'all to get mad about this. Like, why are we allowing billionaires, the billionaire class, to determine the direction of our country? It is more of us than it is of them. Y'all need to wake. Like, I want people to wake up. Like, this is our country. This is ours. We built it. Working families built this country. We are keeping it running while they exploit us. So you damn right when we need to send working families, workers. to Washington, D.C., to Tallahassee, to all these municipal governments and county governments. They, like, we working people, working families need to be the leaders. We need to be deciding what our communities look like and what our economies look like. And we can actually win, y'all. But y'all got to turn out in record numbers, and y'all cannot fall for these traps where they're trying to say that we are bringing in communism and we're trying to do all of this stuff. You know who are the biggest communists and dictators in the world right now? Donald Trump. Like Donald Trump. Like Donald Trump is a horrible human being. He is a horrible president. You are suffering more than you have ever suffered in this modern day and age. And I'm just, yeah, I'm here. I'm y'all.
Absolutely. So, even speaking of working families, a question that we have is, what would you do as senator to ensure that people working full time can afford a decent standard of living? And what policies would you support to raise workers' purchasing power?
Yeah, so number one, we need to definitely increase the minimum wage. I believe it needs to be $25, $26 an hour. Yes, I am a small business owner and I understand. And therefore, we can create a program or a fund to help offset and subsidize or supplement, whatever you want to say, the cost to small business owners until they're able to catch up, right? To increasing that minimum wage on their own to $25 an hour. But when everybody has more money in their pockets, they gonna spend more money. And so I just want to remind folks that. And like that is number one, what we can definitely do. And also those same bills and policies that I just stated, those are gonna help hardworking everyday people like they are. It's going to what is it? Rising tides lift all boats, and that's what's gonna happen.
Absolutely. So, another person stated, Senator Nixon. We like the sound of that. So, we appreciate that. So many people, especially Black communities, working families, and people who feel like their voices have been ignored, are struggling to believe that government actually works for them. If you win this Senate seat, what is the one thing you're able to hold on? One thing you want people who have lost faith in government to be able to say about your 4 years from about you 4 years from now, and what will you personally do to make sure they can say it?
That I listened to them, that I was accessible, that I had people on an advisory committee that helped me craft policies, people centered policies. Like my policies, like my platform right now comes from the people. Like, remember, I went on a statewide listening tour and I did not just come up with these platforms out of the air. I had conversations with people, and this is what they told me they wanted to see. And this is like, I work for y'all. Like at a minimum, that's what I want y'all to know, that politicians, elected officials work for y'all. Y'all are our bosses, so y'all should determine what it is that you all want to see. And that's at a minimum what I want people to know about me. And they are going to like know from 4 years from now that I was someone that was ethical, someone that did not run for office to try to get rich. Absolutely not. I don't even want to be your US senator until I die. I don't want to be your US senator decades from now. I have a 5-year-old that I want to see grow up because I've been working hard and I missed out a lot of times for with my 19-year-old, okay? And so I'm simply trying to bring some sense of normalcy and some sense of accountability and ethics and dignity and respect back to the US Senate. I'm trying to put those seats back into the hands of the people. I don't want to be there forever. I want to mentor some kids so that they can come and take my spot. But right now, in this moment, we need to send somebody up there that's not afraid to fight, that's not afraid to push back against the status quo. Because in all reality, the status quo, quiet, timid leadership has gotten us where we are today. This man in the White House said he ain't leaving. Like he told us before that when he's elected, if he was elected president again, there would be no need for him to leave for us to have another election. Like that's what he said. There didn't he have on a cap or they're printing materials where it says Trump 2028. Like he doesn't want to leave. He's securing and fortifying a ballroom underground, right? He's establishing a paramilitary force designed to terrorize our communities. And they're doing little things here and there to see how far they can go with how much pushback they're gonna get. And they do a little bit and it gets normalized. They do a little bit more and it gets normalized. I want you all to think about it right now. If 6 years ago, if some of the stuff that was happening right now was happening, we would be all up in arms. Shit, stuff would have got shut down. But he's incrementally done things to cause us to become immune to it, to get used to it, to normalize it. This is not normal. It should never be okay. It should never be okay for people who took an oath to serve and protect us to be able to murder us and slaughter us in the streets and not be held accountable, not be arrested, to walk around masked up, to disappear and hide people and people's loved ones. And also, at a bare minimum, their attorneys don't even know where they are. This is insane. And I am going to go up there and fight like hell. People are like, are you going to go up there and are you going to be able to work across the aisle with Republicans? Do y'all hear yourselves? These people, y'all, the right question to ask is, are Republicans ready to work for everyday Americans? That's the right question you should be asking, because right now, that's not what they're doing. Right now, they are emboldening people to kill us and murder us. They are like I read somewhere, I believe the FBI is now like they are surveilling organizations. They're surveilling unions. They're surveilling nonprofits that simply want to provide mutual aid to people or to push back against fascism. They are now calling us terrorists. They've created bills to label us terrorists so they can come in and disappear us. Y'all, like, this shit ain't normal. It's not. And the only way throughout history of our entire globe that we have been able to stop this type of stuff from happening is when we mobilize and we organize harder. This shit is not okay. And I'm not okay with sending someone who says, I lacked decorum and what I did was performative. If you're saying what I did was performative, then what are you saying about our elders and our ancestors that fought and stood up and protested and sat in places because they did not have equality? They couldn't drink or eat at lunch counters at other people. Like, this is not okay. This is not okay.
I want,
And there's no other time like this. I'm sorry. And I'm going to have to really wrap it up because I'm tired and I got a lot to do these next 2 days. But I just need y'all to wake up. Like, just JD Vance even said, like, Watergate now in this day and age, it would have been like a news cycle. Like, that is showing you how they are normalizing corruption. And so, um, yeah, I don't know. I'll answer two more questions, but I'm
so
tired and I'm just so I'm
so
so frustrated and I'm so passionate because these young people have come up to me recently, and at first they were like, there have been several times over this past weekend and they're like, I felt hopeless and this and that, and then I listened to you and I heard you speak about like how everyday people can just take control of this government. These children are concerned about what they are going to do next. Like Generation Z is actively concerned. They are afraid of what's happening right now. And I refuse to not fight to work to leave them a better country. And so um I'm not emotional, I'm passionate.
Well, I think you are emotional and you should be. That is what's real. I think a lot of times we're working so hard not to be seen as that it's no one sees the humanness enough that us that's worth fighting for. I've shared with you privately and want to share with people that are tuning in. I believe that it is our young people who are most equipped in this moment. I keep seeing people that are my age, and y'all, I'm old, so I'm 47, that keep saying that these kids have never been through anything. But I see they have gone through COVID. I saw they've gone through school shootings. We've seen them go through all of the terror of police brutality where it's actually forward facing. So they've experienced so much as like cyberbullying and things like that. So they are the most equipped. And that brings me to a question. And before I ask this question, I want to state this for you because it's one being a person who sees you even when other people don't. If anyone states that anything that you have done is performative, it's because they don't know you and it's because they don't follow you. Because there's so many things that you do that people actually don't see. And I want to like name that you've gone through all these counties throughout the state. And I know that a lot of people do that when they're running for office. What people don't see is how when you're in those spaces, how you're actually serving people, like the one town that you went to, which is Chipley, Florida, which I don't even think is 1,000 people in that town. But the way that there was an older woman, one of our elders, and as you were just talking and engaging with her, and she wanted to continue the conversation, even though you needed to get somewhere else, you didn't rush and you took the time to not only walk with her but also support her. Like that's the kind of thing that people that are behind the scenes see. That's where you're the most like in service, and then you still stand up and still continue to fight, like even when all of the odds are stacked. And I think sometimes those are the things that people need to see. So one of the questions that is being asked is, how are you going to fight basically against the bullies when you are in office?
I mean, I'm gonna be loud, and I'm also gonna organize outside. It has to be an inside or outside strategy as well. When I go into the United States Senate, I'm not going alone. I'm going with nearly 25 million people from the state of Florida. I'm going with I'm going in knowing that many of you all are rationing your prescription drugs. I'm going in knowing that many of you all are crashing on family and friends' couches, right? And so I'm gonna organize you all to make sure that you all are getting loud and that you all are aware and informed about what's happening in Washington D.C. so that you can tell the next people, and so that when we have to take it to the streets, you can take it to the streets. And I'm up there being loud and vocal about what's going on. I'm not sending strongly worded emails. What has that gotten us? That has gotten us here, right? I'm not sending strongly worded emails. What I'm ready to do is hold the line and to say no, right? Like that's what's needed right now in this moment.
Thank you so much. And then the final question before I just read you for some of the things in the chat is, as a senator, how will you fight to make our schools safer from gun violence?
We need common sense gun reform, right? Like I'm a mom sense gun sense candidate. I'm so sorry I'm messing up y'all's title for me. I grew up in a household filled with domestic violence. And I don't, and just based off of what I'm seeing right now, people are stressed out, and I've seen a rise in intimate partner violence lately. And people are not only just shooting their partners, they are also shooting their partners and their children because they are so stressed out. And everybody's on edge. Have y'all noticed that? Like almost everybody is on edge. I don't know anybody that's not worried about something, right? Um, and so I don't, I'm supportive of the red flag laws. I am I am supportive of not allowing people who have history of domestic violence to uh, you be able to have access to guns. I'm also want to make sure that people who have mental health issues um, that they don't have easy access to guns right away until they are like completely whole and all that stuff, right? I do not want to like I'm not for like going out taking people's guns. Like that's not what I'm about. My husband has guns, right? Um but like we do need to rein a lot of this in because there's a lot of people that are like at their breaking point. And then also we just need to make sure that when you have children, I've seen there was a young man that I think he was a teenager, like maybe like 13 or 14. He accidentally shot, I don't know if it was his cousin or his sister, and he was so distraught because she's critical, right? And he killed himself. And it was an accident for him to shoot his loved one, his younger cousin, and then he killed himself out of misery and guilt. And so we definitely have to do something about the ability of certain people to be able to access guns, be it young people as well as people with DV issues or mental health issues.
Absolutely. So I just want to pour some of the stuff into you that people have said before we go and then give people some instructions as we leave. So someone said the fact that you have the conviction and the strength to even say this ain't right is better than 90% of elected officials. We've been in Florida, Virginia, and Maryland, and everybody wants the same thing: accountability. We are literally becoming police states. We're an occupied country, and the elected officials are standing by as if this isn't a world they have to live in as well. Another person said this shit is not okay. Nothing is okay. We need Angie. And then another person states, it's not okay. I feel your passion. God, I pray over you in this election. We need real people in office just like you. Another person states, we love you. Another person states, emotional is needed. We are all emotional. And the fact that you're not taking APAC money speaks volumes. And then another person wants you to know, I voted for you. But if, then we ain't doing that today because she's gonna win. But we need your energy and your ability to fight. Another person says, I'm so happy to have voted for you, Angie. My entire family voted for you. And then it says, go Angie Nixon, go. God give you the victory because the working class needs you. And they said, yep, everybody has anxiety. And then my wife and I both voted for you, Angie. Angie is so authentic and real. She is representing the best of us in Florida. And we love you so much. And then the final person said, it's a stressful time in this country, especially with social media, younger, everything. It could be so much. So I wanted to tell you, thank you. I know just how much you have been running around, and we're talking 12 and 16 and 20-hour days, and really being deliberate about how you're engaging people because you want people to know that this is genuine. This is not about a title, but it's about people. But for you all that are tuning in, Tuesday is the primary election day, and it is a very pivotal time. And there's so much that we can do in this moment. And the ask is on tomorrow, go through everybody in your phone and find out first. Ask if they're supporting Angie. So I'm going ahead and make that mistake. And if they are, find out if they have voted. Or find out if they have a vote by mail ballot. They can either take the vote by mail ballot and drop it in the drop box. Do not mail it at one of the manned drop boxes, or they can take it and turn it in and they can vote. Because they did not vote in early voting, they have to go and vote at their precinct. They can go in whatever county they live in Florida, and anyone in all 67 counties in Florida can vote for her to go find out where they should vote. The polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
They have
on
to be a
election.
Democrat, though. They have to be a
Yeah, and you
Democrat to
have to
vote
be a
for them.
Democrat.
But regardless, you should still go vote, period.
Yeah.
Even if you're MPA, because there's a ton of nonpartisan races and a ton of school board races on the ballot. So please vote. Hold on, Shanae, because I'm finna jump while you tell everybody else what to do.
Okay.
Y'all, I just want to say thank you all. And also just like it doesn't have to be this way, y'all. Like we can actually change the trajectory of our country. We can have nice things. We can have Medicare for all. We can have universal child care. We can get paid living wages. We can be afforded the opportunity to work hard and to get rest and to go on vacations. Like, we can have those things. We can, but we have to vote like our lives depend on it, because it does. And I just want to say I appreciate y'all. I'm dirty and stank. I've been going to churches and popping up at polling locations and going and knocking on doors, like all the things today. And so I need to go take a shower so that I can be refreshed and talk to y'all tomorrow. And I will see you all out on Tuesday. We do have a watch party that's going to be Tuesday. We'll be dropping a link for people to register on tomorrow. What's the day? Sunday. Oh, Jesus. On tomorrow. But yeah, just thank y'all. Y'all, let's build a new vision. And thank you so much, Shanae. I appreciate you. Shanae is a volunteer. Shanae ain't getting paid. Shanae just been rocking with me since forever. And so I do want to say thank you, Shanae. I appreciate y'all. Let's go fight, win. When we fight, we win, y'all. When we fight,
Yes.
we win. When we fight, we win. All right, I gotta go. Bye.
Bye. So we're gonna let her go. And just again, I want to reiterate that there is so much power in the people that you talk to. And so it is super amazing that you all have voted. But I want to name for you. There are, and I'm only speaking to Democratic registered voters at this moment because it's a Democratic primary, but we're talking to everyone. And so with the turnout, there's over 4 million registered Democratic voters. Only about 800,000 ballots have been returned. So there is a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of ground to cover. And we just need to get her past this primary as a Democratic nominee. And then for our NPAs and even Republicans that understand that this is bigger than party, there's that opportunity in November to finish bringing this home. And so even if you are an NPA voter that cannot actually vote for Angie and you support her, reach out to friends and family members that are Democrats. Get them to turn in their ballots if they have vote by mail ballots, and get them to go to the polls between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Right now, we're in a space that she has done all that she can do. The next steps are on us, and we can bring this home. And thank you all for tuning in. If you have any questions, please let us know. You can reach out to the campaign. You know, we work to be accessible. Additionally, you're more than welcome to go to the website, sign up for volunteer interest. We're looking for people to be at the polls and actually greeting people and letting people know about Angie. We're looking for people to wave signs actually on Tuesday. We're looking for people to do some last minute phone banking and canvassing. We can actually go hard so that we do not have to go home. Thank you all. And